Hello and welcome to Back Alley Productions, or at least our website. I'm Kaylee Smith. I am the founder and executive producer here at Back Alley. Before we get started with your video, I would like to make a few announcements. First off, this video is not shot professionally. It is shot by yours truly with an iPhone or digital camera. There are going to be mistakes and jump cuts. This is archival footage here at the theater, and we thought it would be fun in a time where we need some fun entertainment to take a look at Back Alley's family footage. So we hope you enjoy. Second, Back Alley, like many theater companies, had to close its doors due to the virus. This is to keep our community safe that has supported us over the years. However, this is very hard on the entertainment industry, especially on the smaller level like us here in Lafayette. So we ask that if you have the ability, that donation button above you is very useful. Donate what you can, especially if you get a good chuckle out of these videos. We appreciate it. It's just to kind of help us keep going until we can open the doors to the theater again. And if you can support us, try to help and support all the other theater communities who have provided you with great entertainment over the years. This video will only be up for a few weeks, so I hope you enjoy. After this, we'll be posting another one and just kind of cycling through them. And I believe that is it. So, all I ask is you laugh when we're funny, cry when it's sad, cheer when we're triumphant, and we're here for you to entertain you in a time when we need it most. Because the show must go on, just from a distance. Maundy Thursday.
For he who has ears to hear, let him hear. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the gentle, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Blessed are those who have been persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward in heaven is great. If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. These are the ones who have heard the word, but the worries of the world and the deceitfulness of riches and the desires for other things enter in and choke the word, and it becomes unfruitful. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor, and you have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, pray for those who persecute. With men this is impossible, but with God all of his kingdom and his righteousness. And all these things comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? Do not let your heart be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. The Passover is coming, and the Son of Man is to be handed over for crucifixion. Have you understood all these things? Who do you say that I am? Who do you say that I am? But who do you say that I am? But who do you say that I am?
I am Nicodemus. I'm known as a pepper sheep, or what you would call a Pharisee. and I live in a time of great unrest. To this week in Jerusalem, the tension is tangible. Jerusalem and all the surrounding area is under Roman rule. Elohim, our Creator, promised this land to us, and yet we are controlled by the Romans. They don't understand our faith or our desire for theocracy. And add to that, we ourselves are divided. As a Pharisee, I believe in Elohim, who revealed himself to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I believe in the afterlife and angels and demons and the traditions of our fathers' fathers. I believe we affect his plan through our limited free will. The Sadducees are working with Rome to keep things settled. We believe differently. They are the literalists, just the law, what is written and nothing else. They are wealthy and influential. But we Pharisees, we have the heart of the people. But the people are restless. Oh, how they want and long for the Messiah, a deliverer, to stand up to Rome, the great empire. We need a military leader to take down the Roman Empire. We pay taxes and tribute, but to what? Pagans. The Sadducees say, obey the temple commandments and work with Rome. We are all Jews, yes, but we're divided, especially politically. We both love and believe in the law. As a Pharisee, I believe in the oral tradition alongside the law. Oral tradition is our cornerstone. The Sadducees see no need for the oral tradition. They see the cornerstone as the haves and the have-nots. Torah is our written law. But Moses gave us oral law through God-breathed understanding, and we cannot set that aside for political privilege. The Sadducees see no consequence to these politics. Pharisees, we believe in the afterlife. The Sadducees don't. They say it's not in the Torah, therefore it does not exist. We believe in the resurrection of the soul, of the punishment of the wicked, and of the blessing on the faithful. The Sadducees believe that we just die. They don't believe in the eternal soul. It's all about the status quo for them. I try to understand them, but we're different. We're divided. There's different names and different groups. The Sadducees, the Pharisees, the Samaritans, the Zealots, and some are fanatical. Even the Sadducees are okay with the influence of the Greeks. And yet, we all work together in our great Sanhedrin, our court system. We meet in the hall of hewn stones in the temple here in Jerusalem and provide fair judgment for our people. I'm sorry to speak so plainly to you tonight, but tonight my spirit is restless. You see, it's the Nazarene, Yeshua, who stirs me. I hear there's a price on his head, 30 pieces of silver. They've approached his followers, his disciples, the 12. I should speak quietly to you because I am a teacher of Israel. But this man of Galilee, this Yeshua, he intrigues me. I don't know what to think of him. I looked at him one night. I said, Rabbi, we know you come from Elohim, for no one can do the signs you do except Elohim be with him. And you know what he said?
Truly, truly, I say to you, you must be born again to see the kingdom of Elohim.
What? I am an old man. I cannot re-enter my mother's womb, and I told him that.
Truly, truly, you must be born of water and the Spirit to enter the kingdom of Elohim. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, That which is born of the Spirit is spirit. Do not be amazed that I said to you, you must be born again. The wind blows where it wishes, and you hear the sound of it, but you do not know where it is coming from or where it is going. So is everyone born of the Spirit.
How can this be?
Are you a teacher of Israel, and do not understand these things? Truly I say to you, we speak of what we know, and we testify to what we have seen. And you do not accept our testimony. If I told you of earthly things, and you do not believe, how will you believe if I tell you of heavenly things? No one has ascended to heaven, but he who descended from heaven, the Son of Man. As Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. Whoever believes will in him have eternal life.
Tonight, I'm in Jerusalem. I saw him enter the city. The crowds were excited. They were throwing down their cloaks and palm branches, crying out, "Hosanna! Hosanna!" And the chief priest offered the bride immediately. Surely, none of his followers would take the money. Surely, none would betray him for 30 pieces of silver. We were there when he spoke in the temple. And the priest called us in to see if any of us had been swayed. Oh, the anger they had. I said, our law does not judge a man unless it first hears what he says and knows what he is doing, does it? They responded, Nicodemus, you are not one of the Galileans, are you? Search and see that no prophet rises out of Galilee. And then they left, answered with a question only. My spirit is troubled. My spirit is troubled tonight. I feel the unrest. Something tells me that soon I will have to determine who this man is.
Jerusalem is quiet tonight, but I am wary. The crowds are still coming in for Passover, and it is my job to keep the peace. Everyone is angry. Everything is tense. Riots could spring out at any moment. I miss Rome. It is odd that on Passover, the Jews celebrate the day the angel of death passed by their houses and spared their firstborn. The Jews, it is said, placed the blood of a lamb on their doorpost as a sign of devotion to their God. I can't understand why the blood of innocents had to be spilled to spare the Jews from death. I just can't quite understand it. The Hebrews believe in one God. One! Can you imagine that? One God with a rule over everything, who has made the Jewish people his children. Now, I don't meddle in religion much. It's dangerous to go there. I'm a soldier first. But the Jews say that their one God will bring forth a Messiah, or already has, depending on who you ask, who will rise up against the empire. I hear the talk, the rumors. People are surprisingly open in the presence of a soldier. But I was in the market the other day, and I heard this one Hebrew exclaim, "The Messiah is coming to destroy Rome and your beloved Caesar. He will wage war against your gods." It's laughable, right? I don't know why Caesar allows this dissension to grow amongst the people. He expects us soldiers to crush out the Jews who would rise up against him. But then he asks us to keep the peace. No riots, no problems. How long can that last? Caesar ought to know that uprisings lead to wars. And there is a rumor that this Messiah is already in Jerusalem, and soon the Jews will exalt this anointed one to rise up against Rome. The Jews can't even get along with themselves. One God? Sure. But they all see him so differently. The Essenes of the Dead Sea, they live a strict moral code. No outsiders. They live off the land and keep to themselves. The Herodians, they support Rome. They support our ways. We get along okay for now. I don't see them at the temple much. And the Samaritans, do they even count as Jews? They're not pure in blood. They've mixed with other races. They've intermarried with the Babylonians, the Mesopotamians, the Syrians. Everyone hates everyone else, but everyone hates the Samaritans. No one wants them. I miss Rome. I miss my home, where everyone is Roman. We all worship the same gods, and the violence is understandable. Jerusalem, I don't know how much more I can do of Jerusalem. I've requested to speak with my commander. I may ask to leave Jerusalem. I have also requested to bring my concerns before Pilate. But Pilate is a brutal man, hard to reason with. Many Jews have died at his hands, some cruelly, of course. Many Jews have died at my hand. But I must be ready for the coming violence. Sword, spear, and shield. There is this one Jew, this one troublemaker in particular, who speaks not of an uprising but of peace. They say he's a blasphemer. The leaders of the temple are out for blood. If he doesn't stop what he is doing. The other day, he walked into the court of the Gentiles in the temple of Herod, acting like he owned the place. He began tipping over tables, releasing animals, all the while saying,
"My father would not permit anyone to carry merchandise through the temple."
And then he began to speak like a teacher.
Is it not written, "My house shall be called a house of prayer for all the nations," but you have made it a robber's den?
He wanted to destroy the temple.
Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I shall raise it up.
And the Jews said, "It has taken 46 years to build this temple, and you will raise it up in 3 days?" They started ripping their clothes and acting very Jewish. It's what happens. He incites riots. He can't go on talking like this. Already the chief priest and the scribes are plotting against him. Violence, you see, more violence. I think they're scared of this Jesus. People are starting to like him, to follow him. He's likable. Of course, he may be a liar, putting on the pretense of peace to start a war. I don't know what to make of it. There's talk of miracles. The people are starting to follow him. They wanted to do something against Caesar, to cause Rome to be involved. They asked him about taxes, and he said to them,
Show me the coin used for the poll tax. Whose likeness and inscription is this?
"It's Caesar's, of course."
Then render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to Elohim the things that are Elohim's.
I could not believe my ears. I thought the Pharisees would arrest him on the spot. But they just walked away, angry and confused. And now they plot. I heard a rumor, and you shouldn't tell anyone you heard this from me, but the Pharisees have offered 30 pieces of silver for Jesus' arrest. Why? I ask myself. This rabble-rouser? Of course he should stop what he's doing, but he hasn't tried to usurp Rome. I must be ready for the coming violence. This Passover, as in every year that I have been here, this week, blood will be spilled. May it not be innocent.
My family is in danger tonight. Passover was meant to be a time of celebration, a time when Elohim saved his people from oppression. But tonight, I'm afraid. I don't understand everything that's happening. I can see the travelers walking up the road past my town of Bethany. They're making the long and tiring 2-mile walk from the town up to the Eastern Temple Gate, over the Mount of Olives, towards Jerusalem. A dark cloud seems to hang over the city. I'm Mary. I live here in Bethany with my brother Lazarus and my sister Martha. And we are all in danger, I fear. My family has supported the man called Yeshua. We consider him a close friend, and that means we're putting ourselves at a great risk. Can't you feel it in the air? I'm trying to have faith, but I feel like the angel of death is right above my shoulder. I wonder, is this how my ancestors felt? That night in Egypt, trusting and hoping that Elohim would deliver them, but with no real knowledge of how. Whatever happens, I will have faith. Something in me has always known what has to happen. The last time I saw Yeshua, he was dining here with everyone in Bethany. I took up oil and perfume and washed his feet with my hair. But one of the 12 protested, saying,
"Why this waste? This perfume can be sold for a high price, that money given to the poor."
My heart dropped. To have one of the 12 call me out like that. Oh, I began to shake. I was so scared I had done the wrong thing. I was so sure the master would cast me out of the house. But he smiled and spoke softly.
Why do you trouble the woman? She has done a beautiful thing to me. For you will always have the poor with you. She will not always have me. In pouring this ointment on my body, she has done it to prepare me for burial. Truly I say to you, what she has done, told in memory of her.
His burial? No, I was preparing the master for his burial. Oh. My heart broke. My family and I, we are his friends. He has stayed here often. I have sat at his feet and learned. I, being a woman, am limited by our culture and what I can learn. And he was willing to tell me anything and everything. But now, here in the dark, with Yeshua in Jerusalem, I'm afraid again. My mind wanders to the moment I met him. My family and I, we heard he was in Bethany, so we opened our house to him and his followers. Martha, my sister, she stressed. I was excited, but she did what Martha does and started making lists and panicking and cleaning, and we had to get this done and that done and more lists and more stress. And if one wrong thing happens, the day is ruined for us all. I don't mean to make her sound like Martha. Martha just handles things differently. I love her. I do. I'd give anything to be more like her. People tend to like her more. They trust her. I think it's because she plans. It's natural for her. Me, my mind wanders. It's lost in daydreams. I'm impulsive. I know it's sinful. I can be very selfish. At least Martha knows her place. I wander around. I'm not like the other women in the village. I ask questions. I demand answers. I fail Martha when she needs me the most. I love her. I love Lazarus. I'm afraid I disappoint them. But Yeshua, he came to our house. And the first time I saw him, he told us of amazing things and teachings and lessons. He treated me so differently. I am a woman. I have no value in our courts. I cannot survive this world without my brother. I have no money or inheritance. I barely even have a name. But the master, he saw none of that. He just saw me. Me. I sat at his feet and listened to him the day he first visited. Martha had given me tasks and to-dos, but I became distracted. The master was in our house. And Martha began to get tense. Martha, as Martha does, decided to announce in front of Yeshua and all our guests Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the serving alone? Then tell her to help me. Right there, in front of Elohim and everyone. Literally. Oh, I turned red. I was so embarrassed, humiliated. But then the master spoke, saying,
Martha, Martha, you are worried and bothered about so many things. Only one thing is necessary. For Mary has chosen the good part. It shall not be taken away from her.
I was speechless. So was Martha. So was everyone in the room. I felt a little bad about it later, but I couldn't help but smile. Eventually, Martha went back to work. And I just sat there and listened to Yeshua speak. For the first time in my life, I felt like someone finally understood me and my rash, impulsive nature. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't saying, Mary, go be selfish. No. He was giving me the time and space I needed to be forgiven. I was beyond happy. That is, happy until Lazarus got sick. Very sick. Martha and I knew that if he died, we would be two women alone in a world of men. We begged Yeshua to return and heal Lazarus, but he didn't come back. We kept sending messages to him telling him Lazarus was on his deathbed. But he didn't come. Oh. Then Lazarus died. He died. Oh, I was so angry. 4 days passed without a single word. Then, and only then, did Yeshua return to Bethany. Martha, as Martha does, went to meet Yeshua ceremonially. I was too upset. I couldn't mask my feelings. Yeshua could have saved my brother's life. He could have. Oh, but then I saw him. I was so ashamed of myself. I had been so selfish. All I thought of was my own pain, not even considering that Yeshua was in a town filled with people who hated him, who wanted to kill him. Can you even imagine that? Walking into town where most everyone wants to stone you. Then Martha came to me in secret and told me, the master wants to speak with you. Oh, I ran to him to fall at his feet once more like I had during the feast. I cried to him, if you had been there, my brother would not have died. But that was not where the story ended. Yeshua asked Martha and me to take him to the tomb of my brother. So I did. I was terrified. I didn't want to see my brother dead again. Martha could barely even face the grave due to the stench. Oh, but then Yeshua commanded.
Lazarus, come forth.
My brother, bound by funeral wrappings, walked out alive. Oh, he was alive. I cannot possibly tell you what that day was like for me and my family. Our lives restored. But now, here in the dark, with Yeshua in Jerusalem, I want to go to him. The Pharisees are on the move against him. They've even tried to hurt Lazarus. They wish for us all to die so that they can maintain their power and rule over Israel. And I'm afraid. So I will pray.
We will now take a small intermission.
Bread and the Passover lamb was being sacrificed. His disciples said to him, "Where do you want us to go and prepare for you to eat the Passover?" And he sent two of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the city, and a man will meet you carrying a pitcher of water. Follow him. And wherever he enters, say to the owner of the house, 'The teacher says, where is my guest room in which I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' And he himself will show you a large upper room furnished and ready. Prepare for us there." The disciples went out and came to the city, and found it just as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover.
What I do, you do not realize now, but you will understand hereafter.
Never shall you wash my feet.
If I do not wash you, You have to part with it.
Wash not only my feet, also my hands and my feet.
He who has bathed needs only to wash his feet, but is completely clean. You are clean. Not all. Not all of you are clean. Do you know what I've done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right. So I am. If I then, the Lord and the teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I've given you an example that you should do as I did to you. I have earnestly desired to eat this Passover supper with you. For I say to you, you shall not eat of it until it is fulfilled in the kingdom of Elohim. Take this, share it among yourselves. For I say to you, you shall not drink from the fruit of the vine from now on until the kingdom of Elohim comes. This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. This cup, which is poured out for you, is the new covenant in my blood. But behold, the hand of the one betraying me is with mine on the table. For indeed, the Son of Man is going as it hath been determined. And woe to that man by whom he is betrayed. Truly I say to you, one of you will betray me. One who is eating with me. It is one of the 12.
My name is Nathaniel. Some of my friends call me Bartholomew. I come from Cana in Galilee. You see, a few years back, some of my friends began hanging out with John the Baptizer and listening to his preachings on repentance. Now, this man was a revolutionary. I mean, he ate locusts and honey, and many thought he was the Messiah. But he made it clear that he was not. However, he said that he was making the way for Messiah. Now, when John began getting popular, the Levites and priests went to question him. John told them, he said, "I am a voice crying in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord." Then they asked him why he was baptizing people, if not the Messiah or Elijah or a prophet. Well, John answered them, saying, "I baptize with water. The one who is to come will baptize with spirits and fire. I'm not fit to even tie his sandal." The Romans killed John. Yes, he criticized Herod Antipas for marrying his brother-in-law's wife. John was a bold one, but he was right about him. You see, Philip introduced us at Bethany, east of the Jordan River. He came running up, shouting, "We found him! We found him!" Now, I wasn't sure exactly what he meant by that, but then Philip explained, saying, "We have found him. Of him Moses wrote about in the law and the prophets spoke of. We had found Yeshua of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Now, it seemed a little bit ridiculous to me. Okay, nothing good comes out of Galilee. It's a nowhere town, insignificant to the rest of the world. But Philip challenged me. He told me to come and see for myself, so I went. You see, so much had been going around rumor-wise with my people, I did not want to jump in too fast. But when Philip took me to meet him, Yeshua said this,
"Behold, an Israelite, in whom there is no guile."
Now that kind of shocked me. Okay, I try to be this person, honorable. And he was right. I have no guile. I have no goal, no agenda. I'm not trying to be cunning or turn people's words around, and I'm not trying to turn everyone into a Messiah. But I was eagerly seeking him. So I asked him, I said, "Yeshua, how do you know me?"
Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you.
Now, how could he have known that? Okay, I know that you don't understand what he means by fig tree, but me, I knew immediately. And there's absolutely no way he could have known that. Unless it was him. He was who we'd all been seeking. He was the Messiah. So I ran up to him and I said, Rabbi, you are the son of Elohim. You are King of Israel." Since that day, I have served him as a disciple. However, lately, many are plotting against him. And now, he says that one of us will betray him? Now, how can that be? Okay, I know these men. These men are my friends. John, Judas, Peter. They're good people. They're all good people. I mean, at least I want them to be. It's just we've been through so much together. All of us have no guile. Sure, these men, they're not perfect. The 12, we're not perfect. We've had our arguments. Like when James and John wanted to be seated special with him. And the rest of us were like, what? But then Yeshua told us that we didn't understand what we asked. Now there's the thing. Okay, right there. I believe every word that comes out of this man's mouth. But sometimes he is so hard to get. He tells us things and asks things of us that requires faith to understand. And oftentimes, faith is hard to come by. Anyway, that's where I'm at. That's where I stand. But now one of us is to betray him? What's that going to mean for us? For him. No, 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 I do not want this night to continue. I want to stay here, and I want to stay safe, and I do not want to know which one of you has done this to us. To him! How can a traitor be numbered? One of my closest friends. Well, it isn't me. No, I wouldn't do this to him. I wouldn't hurt him. I couldn't hurt him. Could I? No, no, no. I am a true Israelite. Right? I have this feeling, this fear, this worry, this thought in my head that I can't shake. What if it is me? What if I can do this awful thing to him? What if I don't love him like I thought I did? Let me ask myself, is it I? Is it I?
My name is Philip, and like many of us here, I came from Bethsaida in Galilee. Also, like many of us here, I was in Bethany listening to John the Baptist when Yeshua called us all to become his disciples, and we all followed him. Sometimes I guess you just do that. Get up and go with a man who shows you different everything. And the things I have seen with him, like when he fed all those people with just 5 loaves and 2 fish. All these people came to hear him speak. I mean, can you blame him? The things he says are not like I have heard others say. But when it came time to feed them, I asked, where are we to buy bread that all of these may eat? Little did I know that Andrew was already bringing the boys' lunch to Yeshua. Well, Andrew can tell you how amazing that day was. When the Greeks came to me and asked to be taken to the master, I turned them over to Andrew. It seemed like the thing to do after the bread and fish day. Even the Greeks were taken by the way he spoke and the things he said. I mean, when he began to tell us that Elohim was our Heavenly Father, it was almost beyond my understanding. But as I have listened to the Master, I have begun to understand his words. In fact, I can almost say that he who has seen Yeshua has seen the Father. For everything one would want to find in the Father, I find in Yeshua. And nothing I would not want to find in the Father do I find in the Son. And now, after seeing the Father through him, he shocks us again by the things he says. And not in a good way. He tells us that one of us will hurt him and betray all we have worked for him. Do the others not know that in betraying our master, he is also betraying Elohim himself? Surely, after knowing that Yeshua knows, that should stop one of their plans, right? Who can it be? It can't be Philip. I would be going against Elohim himself. Is it I? Is it I?
You know what it's like to be hated? I mean, truly hated. Repulsed, disregarded, scoffed at, spat on, ridiculed, judged, disowned, and discounted. Unwanted. Feels great. Well, not at first, but you build a wall between yourself and the world that hates you. You tell yourself that you're better than them, that they only hate you because they're jealous of you, that it's better to be hated than to be one of them. And that's the facade that he wrote down. My name is Levi. Some call me Matthew. I'm a publican, a tax collector. Now, it isn't what I aspired to be, no, just like everybody else, I had plans for my life, but Rome had allowed Herod to build a temple, and with that came jobs. All we had to do to keep our temple up and running was to pay taxes and tolls. Some of the money went to our priests, most of it went to Rome, but regardless, I was either going to be on the outside paying, or I could work my way in and collect. So that's what I did. The opportunity to become a tax collector presented itself, and I took it. Well, sort of. You have to pay to be a collector. It's sort of a bought position. But I had a knack for it. I was good at it even. And once I was in, I was in. And that's what made me so hate it. I didn't mind. Or, well, of course, at first I did. No one wakes up thinking, how can I get my entire community to look down on me in disgust? Being told you're a traitor over and over again tends to sting a little bit. The other publicans, they told me that being a social outcast was just a hazard of the job. Get used to it. Because, like I said, it was a bought position. But then I started getting returns on my investment, and the income more than made up for the social cost. And those words that they would throw at me: traitor, sinner, publican, they sting less and less as time goes on. My accounts got larger. And then the sting went away. And I thought, I can do this tax collector thing for the rest of my life. I used to wear the hate they threw at me like a cloak. Oh, a tax collector has his pride, you know. Oh, you can call me a traitor all you like, but I'm not the one out in some salty, stinking boat burning my hands on fishing nets all day. I'm not the one out in the fields under the blistering sun until the heat exhaustion takes me. Oh, no. I'm in the counting house, sitting with all your money on my desk. I'm the one walking down the street with a soldier or two, searching you for cargo and making sure you pay. I don't care about your ailing father. I don't care about your children. I will find you again and again and again, because a publican always gets his taxes. And sometimes I enact a little tax of my own. Not much, a few denarii, just a little rounding up. Rome takes from me, and I take from you. And that's just the way the world works. Was I wrong? Was I betraying my people to the Roman Empire? Did I even care? That's who I was. Until I met him. I was sitting in the toll booth at the city gate, collecting tax for anybody passing by, sort of our way of saying, welcome to town. He appeared, and his eyes, they pierced me. I'll never forget those two words he said to me. Follow me. Just like that. The wall that I had built between myself and those that hated me, the facade that I had created, collapsed like sand. The things that he says, the things I've seen, I want the whole world to know what he has done here. I dropped everything. I ended my career. I left with him. Of course, to the people, I was still Levi the collector. That hadn't changed just because I quit. But to him, I was a disciple of the truth, a voice of the good news of Elohim. Every word, every teaching, every miracle. I had to show him what he meant to me. I had to show him appreciation or respect in my way. And my way was a grand feast in my home with all my fake friends. Oh, but the crowd was huge, and Yeshua was my honored guest. You see, in my eyes, that was the only way to treat a true friend. And everybody came, probably out of curiosity to see the man whom people had been calling the Messiah, to size him up, as you do in business. Our leaders, the Pharisees, heard about this, of course, and they started telling people that Yeshua was dining with sinners and publicans. Yeshua heard about this, and he spoke to the Pharisees.
It is not those who are healthy who need a physician, but those who are sick.
They didn't understand that Yeshua had come to heal people like me, social outcasts, social lepers, sinners. He told a parable once about it.
Two men went up into the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood and was praying this to himself. Elohim, I thank you that I am not like other people, swindlers, unjust, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I pay tithes, all that I get. The tax collector, standing some distance away, was even unwilling to lift up his eyes to heaven. He was beating his breast, saying, Elohim, be merciful to me, the sinner. I tell you, this man went to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled. He who humbles himself will be exalted.
Be merciful to me, the sinner. In the eyes of a Pharisee, a man like me would never have a chance at entering the kingdom of heaven. The Messiah, he dines with me. He loves me. And he called me to be one of his own. He says to the Pharisees,
Go, learn what this means. I desire compassion and mercy, not sacrifice.
what does he mean? I've been trying to decipher it, to crack the meaning. I've been studying. I read all the old teachings. I study my master's word every day. I take notes upon notes upon notes, just trying to understand it fully. For surely there is no man who speaks or acts like this on the whole of the earth. Compassion and mercy? Compassion and mercy for those that hated me. Can a publican, a man who bashed indoors and demanded unfair payments, a sinner who became hated and ostracized by his entire community, find the mercy to forgive them of their hate? Or am I like that tax collector in the parable who says, be merciful to me, the sinner? Be merciful to me, the sinner. I've been collecting tax for so long that I hardly realized I owe a great debt of my own, a debt that I cannot possibly pay. To pay my debt would require an untold sacrifice. To pay off my debt, I would have to give my life. And even that would never be enough. But the Messiah, he tells me that if I can find the mercy to forgive those that hated me, that I too will be forgiven. That by asking Elohim for forgiveness, it will be granted. Be merciful to me, the sinner. He taught us how to pray. Not in the way that we were instructed by our leaders, but in a different way. Like this. Our Father, who is in heaven,
hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come.
Your will be done.
On earth?
As it is in heaven.
Give us this, our daily bread.
forgive us our debts as we have also forgiven our debtors.
Lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
for yours is the kingdom,
And the power.
And the glory.
Forever. Amen.
If you forgive others for their transgressions, your heavenly Father will also forgive you.
Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Now, he says that one of us will betray him, and I fear that the old me isn't quite gone. He's still in there, isn't he? Somehow, waiting. Levi the publican, Matthew the tax collector, the sinner. They've all been looking at me since the moment he spoke. If one of you will betray me, they keep eyeing me. It wouldn't be the first time that I betrayed my people, would it? No, it can't be me, because now I'm loved. Now I'm wanted. I belong with these men at this table. Finally, no more No more facades or pretenses. No more hate or distaste. No more business associates who turn on you at the last minute. These are my brothers, and he is my master, and I love my master. Still, there's this nagging feeling, this fear that I don't dare share with the others. This horrible idea. Can a publican truly change? Can I truly be forgiven? What if it is me that will betray the Messiah tonight? I don't even know it yet. What if all that old evil rises in my heart again, all that greed and pride? What if I lose everyone? What if I lose his love? What if I can never pay my debt? I'm afraid. I am afraid. And so I must ask myself, is it I? Is it I?
I love my family. I do. And I miss them so much. But when the master told me, James, and my brother John to follow him, I knew what I had to do. I had to follow him. I had to learn his ways, and I had to learn his truths. So, I packed up my things in Galilee. I took my little brother John, that's the boy, the master, and I left home. Now, my mother, she likes to meddle. What mother doesn't, honestly? She worries about us. She wants what's best for us, and she does what she can to make sure that that happens. However, this time, she did that. Damn. She pulled my brother and I aside, and she told us, urged us, to press Yeshua for higher positions. She said that this could be our chance to change our fortune. So, we were all walking towards Jerusalem last week. I stopped him, and I said, Lord, teacher, allow us to sit one at your right and the other at your left when you come into your kingdom. How do you think that went? Yeah, basically. Yeshua responded,
You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I am to drink, or be baptized with the baptism with which I am baptized?
I want to be. And so does John. So I said, Lord, we are able. I can't grasp it all. But I know that I would give my life for this man. I want to be the best that I can be for him, no matter what that means. But Yeshua told us that we would in fact drink from his cup, and that we would be baptized with his baptism, but also that he did not have the power to give the right or the privilege to sit at his right or left in his kingdom. So, that was that. My mother even talked to him about it herself and got mostly the same response. And then, of course, it got out what we had done, and none of them were happy about it. Thinking back, I hope that that is not what caused all of this. Oh, I pray that it is not because of our request. But what else would cause one of us to do something like this? I thought things had started to settle down, because Yeshua reminded us that he who would be first must be the servant of all.
You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their great men exercise authority over them. Not this way. Whoever wishes to become great among you shall be your servant. Whoever wishes to be first among you shall be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many.
Give his life? You know he doesn't just say these things without backing them up. He is true. If he says give his life as a ransom, then he will show us. It's just like how he washed our feet tonight. He demonstrates to us what he means. I can't grasp it all. And I am scared. I am so scared. And my mother, she doesn't understand it either. But I know she loves him. And so do John and I. I would do anything for this man. But now, he who taught us the way of love is to be betrayed by one of those whom he loves? One of us? What if I did something? What if I did something that caused all of this? What if it's me? No, I would never do something like that to him. It can't be me. But then who could it be? I know I'm demanding. I keep waiting for Elijah to come down and storm these gates and restore us our heritage. And I am still waiting for that day. But I want what any Jew wants, to be given what is ours. And now, tonight, I know that servants don't storm city gates. I am with him. I want something new, like he says. I know you can't put a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the cloth just pulls itself away, and a worse tear is left in its place. I want to be like him. I want to understand why he washed our feet. I want to be least. And I want so badly to see him placed on his throne. One of us will betray him. What could bring one of us to do something like that? I would kill anyone who dared betray him. Even one of these men. Even one of these men. I am a son of thunder. Since he told us that it would be one of us to betray him, I have gone over everything that I've done. Every question, every sin. Could I do something to betray him without even realizing it? Could it be me that betrays him? Is it I? Is it I?
Hot-headed, bloodthirsty, rebellious, dangerous. Dangerous. It may not seem like it, but before I met the Master, I was a man you never recognized. Simon the Zealot, they called me. I was part of this group. We wanted to incite a rebellion against the Roman Empire using whatever means necessary. Some called us militants, others radicals, some even called us extreme. To put it bluntly, I was a terrorist. But now I can't even recognize myself now. I'm a man of peace. The others have their sins and faults, sure, but I wanted nothing more but to see the entire Roman Empire burning to the ground, with every Roman in it, and to have the head of Tiberius Caesar on a spike above a cheering crowd. Because Israel is our holy land, ours and not theirs. This land is meant for the Jews. It was promised to us. And yet on any given day, I'm more likely to see some Roman soldier than one of my own people. And it makes me so angry. Forgive me. I try to be peaceful, I do. It's just sometimes the man I once was just reemerges. I have to fight him now, instead of my fellow man. I'm learning to lead a different life now. One without violence, or anger, or hostility. It's just when you live your whole life looked down on and pushed around by the Romans, you start to believe that violence is the only way they'll listen. When I hear stories of a Jew who is beaten in the market, or assaulted by a Roman soldier, or even killed, it makes me feel so helpless. And that's why I joined the Zealots. I remember how powerful I felt to vandalize the statues honoring their pathetic Roman gods. How much I felt like part of something larger than myself, working alongside the Zealots. I remember how crafty we felt, talking about how we could disrupt the Roman currency. I remember raiding their villages and towns, taking the fight to them, finding any way to make their lives harder, to force them to listen to us, to our pleas. How I long for the days of David and Solomon to be restored. But now I long for the kingdom of Elohim. When Yeshua speaks of love and forgiveness, I realize how wrong I've been all this time. Violence once felt so rational, so right, so necessary. Burn Rome, I cried. Destroy every building, slay every Roman, murder even their children. They all deserve the sword. That's not what Yeshua came to do. Our Master came to save us all from ourselves. And yes, I believe even the Romans too should know his love. All should know his love. For it is the love of Elohim. So, I've given him my highest loyalty and deepest devotion. Because I've seen what this man can do. I have, in military parlance, surrendered myself to him. Unconditionally. I seek nothing more but to think his thoughts, to love as he loves, to obey as he obeys, to serve as he serves. My war is no longer one of bloodshed, but a war within, a war with my spirit, a war with myself. I know people will wonder if I've truly changed, if I truly am loving, or if this warmongering zealot still lives somewhere in my heart. They'll doubt me. They'll see a facade, but I swear I'm true. My change may seem drastic, but this surrender has not imprisoned me. Rather, it has set me free for the first time in my entire life. I'm no longer afraid of Rome. To me, this empire seems as though it will last forever. But I know, There will come a time when the words Roman Empire are nothing more than a mere staple in history. Because of him. But tonight, the master speaks of a traitor. Now, when I was in the zealots, there was only one thing we did with traitors. Am I to have compassion for this man now? He who plots demise against my master! Or does he see something in my old ways? Something I'm unable to see in myself anymore. The violence in me. No. Could I? Could it be me? Is it I? Is it I?
I am an ordinary man. My entire life has been ordinary. I don't want you to think that just because I'm one of the 12, there's something special about me. There's not. Before I met the Master, I was just Andrew, brother of Simon, a fisherman in as small a town as you can find. No one important ever came to our part of Galilee, except merchants and the occasional priest. And John the Baptist, of course, but even then, nothing important ever happened to me. I had begun to think my entire life was going to be nothing but fishing, from start to finish. I was okay with that, I guess. It's just life, right? You have to work to live. It's how my father lived. It's how my grandfather lived. It's how a lot of people live in and around Galilee. Then something life-changing happened to me. I was out fishing with my brother Simon, whom the Master now calls Peter, and we saw a man walking along the shoreline. There was something unusual about him. It was like a vision or a dream. It was him. They call me the first disciple because the Master called on me first, even before my brother. But that baffles me. Me, the first disciple? I don't say that with pride. It's the opposite. I'm a nobody. I've never done anything remarkable with my life, yet I was the first disciple. I had heard Yeshua's teachings through John the Baptist, whom I followed, and I knew that this man was the Messiah. But could all these amazing events really be happening in my life? Sometimes I think about who I am, about everything that's going on around me. It's overwhelming. Sometimes I miss just fishing with my brother. But now I'm a part of something great. Something so great it seems that it could weigh me down and crush me. Especially tonight when no one here knows what's going to happen. Tonight when there's so much fear in the air. This could be the last night I see my brother. My friends. Even the Messiah. I keep reminding myself of all the miracles I've seen on my journey. As a comfort. Something to help me sleep at night. I remember one time, we were walking along the far shore of Galilee, just outside of my town. John the Baptist had just died. Master and I were heartsick over it. So we retreated into the mountains. But we were followed by thousands. I've never seen so many people all flocking to hear Yeshua speak, or to ask for comfort or healing or a miracle. Hundreds and hundreds of faces along the mountainside, glimmering sea in the distance. So much hope. No fear. The Master instructed us to find food to feed the people, but who could feed thousands? Philip said,
It would take half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have a bite.
At that moment, I saw a small child carrying 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish. I figured it's a start. So I told the Master. But I knew that this was barely enough food to feed us 12, much less the entire crowd. But the Master instructed us to have them all sit. And so we did. Yeshua gave thanks to Elohim. And I can't explain it to you. I wish I could. You would have had to have been there to exactly understand it. But somehow, This man fed those people. Every single one. With leftovers. It was a miracle, a true miracle. But then the people started talking. I thought he was a prophet. They wanted to make him king. Not king of heaven, but king of the Jews. Someone to lead us to independence against Rome. We had to run and hide. They wouldn't take no for an answer. We tried to tell them that that is not what our master came here to do. They said, we don't care. Can you believe that? Sometimes I wonder about people. How selfish and set in their ways they can be. Even tonight, among us, there's a traitor. The master spoke of his death openly. None of us wanted to believe it. What scares me the most is when he gets scared. He doesn't want us to see it, I don't think. But I can see it in his eyes. I remember him coming to me, troubled, frightened, and saying,
Now my soul has become troubled. What shall I say? Father, deliver me from this hour. But for this purpose I came to this hour. Father, glorify your name.
And then a balming voice rang out. It was like the clearest pitch of thunder. I was both overjoyed and terrified when I heard it, because I knew that this was the voice of... Well, Jews like me aren't exactly supposed to say his name. But you all know who it is. I wish that voice would speak again, because I can tell my master is getting scared. Brave? Oh, yes. But scared. Because tonight, I think... No, I can't think like this right now, or I'm going to drive myself crazy. I can't think about him being gone, or us being alone without him. Without him, we would all scatter. Without him, there is no hope. Yet he all says that all of this has to happen for a reason. What reason? Why? Why do I just sit idle as someone plots to betray my teacher? I wish I knew who that man was, so I could do something about it. I wish more than anything I was brave like him. I wish I was someone other than Andrew. I wish I was King David or King Solomon or Moses or someone important. Someone who could stop all of this from happening. Someone who could point to the traitor among us right now and expose him. What if that finger was pointing at myself? What if there's some evil down deep inside of me that the master sees, but I'm blind to it? No, it can't be me. It can't. I can't betray the man I've spent 3 years following. Could it be? Is it I? Is it I?
Many of us have many names. And many of us have the same name. My name is also James. Not James, brother to John. Not James, half-brother to Yeshua himself. I am just James, the son of Alphaeus, or James the Lesser. Just to clear up the confusion, he is James the Greater. You never really think much about a seemingly ordinary day until something makes it worth it. You don't wake up and think, today is the day that my life will be changed. Forever. I'll never forget the first day I saw him. I was passing by the place where people were going to be baptized. I can't tell you exactly why I stopped. Maybe it was to get a better look. I did stop. Curious to see what was going on. He was asking for baptism. John, the one called the baptizer, he refused. But Yeshua insisted. And John couldn't say no to someone like Yeshua, because he knew who he was. When Yeshua rose up from the waters, how do you describe something like that? I mean, the heavens above our heads opened up, and what could have only been the Holy Spirit came down and rested on him. It looked like a pure, white dove, a graceful bird with its wings outstretched. Then a voice boomed. It wasn't from any of the men standing there. No, this was a voice from heaven itself. I remember it as clear as I stand here now before you. We heard, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Towards the end of the first year of Yeshua's public ministry, he chose me, as one of the 12. I'm here tonight with him. We are all here with him. Men from different lives who, if it wasn't for the Master, would not be in this room having this meal together. Some of us would have just passed each other on the streets as strangers, never looking up. Others, they would have been enemies, like most of Jerusalem divided. But we are here, together. Since that moment when we were first called to be his disciples, we have walked with him and talked with him. We've seen miracles and have come to know a true and deep understanding of who our Messiah is. I have stayed with him and prayed with him. But despite all of this, despite the fact that we know he is the Son of God, one of us is to betray him. Surely this is madness! But he is not mad. I have this cold, creeping feeling coming up my back. It's laden. All of them. We were called. Peter, Andrew, John, James, Ray. I am in the background. And I know that. But hear this voice in my head
wondering. Is it I?
These are dark days. It seems as though every candle and lantern burns a little dimmer under our Roman oppressors. And now, tonight, my master tells me that one of us will betray him. Betrayal is nothing new to Jerusalem. The whole city is splintered. Pharisees and Sadducees and Samaritans and publicans and zealots, to say nothing of the pagans and the Greeks. There's a new voice of God every day. Everyone's right, and everyone else is wrong, and everyone wants to fight to prove it. My name is Thomas, and I'm careful where I put my faith. And yet, I believe in this man wholeheartedly. I would die for him. I would. In 3 short years, he's changed everything. Could you do what he's done, starting from nothing? I doubt it. It's not just the miracles, feeding thousands with bread and fish, or bringing sight to the blind. No, this man, he has conquered our greatest oppressor. I'm not talking about the Roman Empire. I'm talking about the empire of death. We saw him raise a little girl from the dead. And when our friend Lazarus had perished, the master, he spoke a single word, and Lazarus came forth from the grave, alive. I've seen all of this firsthand. But like my brothers, I'm afraid tonight. I can feel my master's eyes weighing on me. My faith is weak. And I'm letting him down. I want to be brave. But I can't. I was brave for him once, when we were all returning to Judea to pay our respects to Lazarus. Well, everybody else thought we would be met by violence. Mobs were forming against us. There were some people that wanted nothing more than to stone us to death. But when I heard of Lazarus and his death, I said to them, "Let us go that we may also die." I was so brave then. Tonight, I can't find that same courage. All I can do is look at my master and think, how can anyone betray him? Let alone one of us 12. We might have been betrayed already. There could be a group of Pharisees right outside that door, waiting to kill us in the dark. I'm frightened.
Do not let your heart be troubled. Believe in Elohim. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many dwelling places. Were not so, I would have told you. For go to prepare a place for you. Go to prepare a place for you, and I will come again, receive you to myself, that where I am going, you may be also. And you know the way where I'm going.
Master, we do not know the way. How can we know the way?
I am the way.
I want to believe him. I do. I really do, but is what he's saying true? How do I know that? If he goes to prepare a place for us, will he come back again? Or will he just forget about us? I mean, if he can calm the raging storms, and he can raise the dead, then why can't he just make this all stop from happening? And if he can't, or he won't, then why can't he take away the fear in my mind? I want to cling to his voice, but these other voices, they speak louder sometimes. Look at me. Act so brave. The others, they think I am so brave. Deep down inside, I know the truth. I'm a coward. With every passing second, I feel smaller and smaller. And I know our time is coming to an end. So that's why I feel so ashamed. Because in our final moments together, I don't know if I believe them. Lord, give me the same strength I had in Judea, please. Or will these fears just keep multiplying until they eat me alive? What if it's me, driven by my fear that betrays them? Is it I? Is it I?
I'm Judas, also known as Thaddeus, but my friends call me Jude. You're here tonight to hear our hearts and to hear our stories, so I will tell you what I know. He chose 12 of us. He taught us. You've heard this story close to 12 times now. But, as far as I can tell, his plan for us is to be the cornerstone of the new kingdom, just as the 12 tribes were the cornerstone of the old kingdom. I feel unworthy to be selected among his men. I am called Jude the Obscure. But, nonetheless, he chose me. He once told us to go forth and declare that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and to be as wise as serpents, but as gentle as doves. It's pretty good advice, seeing as how we're being sent out as sheep in the midst of wolves. He says, you can easily tell who's on our side and who isn't. Or so I thought. There's so much tension tonight. One could cut it with a knife. But, despite that, I can't help but remember the time he said, it is enough that the disciple be like his teacher, and the servant like his master. You know, I was in Jerusalem when he gave his great invitation.
Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light.
He came to me. He made me a part of the cornerstone, a part of the truth. He came to this earth to share its burdens and to share the people's troubles. And now we've turned our backs and put a burden on him. We all know now what he knew when he came to this earth. That one of us will betray him. I mean, who here at this table could betray a teacher? Would betray him? I mean, there's got to be some kind of mistake here, right? There's no way this could be on purpose. Well, maybe. It means that by the end of the night, all of us will betray him. How did it come to this? Is it I? Is it I?
After Yeshua called Peter and Andrew to come to me, he came to me, John, and my brother James. We were in the boat nearby with our father mending our nets. He called us, and we immediately left our boat, our homes, our families, and everything to follow him. Since that time, I've tried to understand Yeshua and learn every word and every lesson. Sometimes I've made mistakes. One day, I came to him and I said, "Teacher, we saw someone casting out demons in your name, and we tried to prevent him because he's not following us." The master said,
Do not hinder him. For there is no one who will perform a miracle in my name, and soon be able afterwards to speak evil of him. For all who are not against us are for us.
He calls me and my brother James the sons of thunder, because we've got tempers. I'm the youngest here. I'm just, a teenager. But I'm trying to learn every day how to be patient. It's just our family. We're kind of demanding at times, I guess. And I get so angry when I see how the people treat him. It's not fair. He does so much for the people around here. And they're constantly trying to trick him and make him look bad. Now, they're starting to get scared to be associated with him. Why? Just the other day, when he told us we were going to Jerusalem, we went to ask Samaria if we could travel through their territory. They had seen him, knew him, and just the fact he treats them like they are skyballing. I mean, he loves them as he loves everyone else. That should matter. Right? Me and James, we wanted to bring fire down on the villagers for their arrogance, because they wanted him to cast away Jerusalem. He will never do that. He never said they could do that. I want him to be like the prophet Elijah and show them Elohim's wrath and power. Things I've seen. There was this one day, we went up this mountain, but I can't tell you about it. We have to wait for a day before we tell it. I don't quite understand what it is he wants me to wait for, but I'm waiting. But just know that he can bring Elijah. And so he could bring fire down into Samaria. But he said that we were wrong. He said that he came to this world not to destroy it, but to save it. It seemed very important to him that we understood that. He was very serious with me and James. And tonight, he washed our feet. Maybe that's what I've been missing. It's about him showing us the way. He wants us to love each other, to love him, to love Elohim with all our heart, soul, and mind, to love our neighbors as ourselves, and to even love our enemies, like the Samaritans, the unclean, know the disciples are nervous. And I'm confused and scared. I just want to sit here and stay with him tonight. I remind myself, Elohim loves the world, and he sent him so that through knowing him, we may not perish, but live forever. And I believe that the Master is here to save us all from this world. If you knew all the things I've seen. Someday, I want to write it all down. There are so many things, but if it was all written, even just the things I could tell alone, the whole world itself could not contain it. But tonight, I'm scared. I can feel that he is distressed. And one of us? A traitor? Here? Surely, it's not my brother, or Peter, or Andrew. And surely it's not me, the one he loves. I will be steadfast. I will stand. I know I'm young, but I know who he is. But what if, as I sit here, terrified, what if it's like with the Samaritans, and I'm misunderstanding? What if I lose my temper, and do something I can't take back? What if I cause it? Is it I? Is it I?
I was fishing by the Sea of Galilee. I'm a fisherman by trade. It's a family business, so to speak. More like slavery without the chains once you account for the taxes and tributes we have to pay the temple in Rome. But I do own my own boat. I'm Simon, but the master calls me Peter. Andrew is my brother. We got our business from our father who taught us well. Our business is located in a fertile land on the northeastern shore just outside of our town of Bethsaida. In Bethsaida, we net fish. We use strong linen mended over and over and weighted with stones. You throw your net out into the sea and you hope you catch something. Then you pull it back in and you hope your catch is in it. It's exhausting. Tons of labor and strain and sweat, often with little results. Then one morning a man approached out of the sun and walked down to us. This was him. Yeshua of Nazareth, the one everyone had been talking about all over Galilee. He said,
"Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men."
He didn't have to ask me twice. I threw down my net and became his talmud. He said I would be a fisher of men. And he changed my name.
You should be called Cephas, and on you, this rock, I will build my church.
Me, a fisherman from some fishing village no one ever cared about. Would I build his church? This man said things no one else would say. He could do things no one else could do. In my heart, I knew he wasn't a teacher like the rest. He wasn't a rabbi like the rest. There was something very other about him. Once, Andrew, James, John, and I went over to my house after we went to the synagogue. My mother-in-law was very ill. She had a high fever. I explained to Yeshua that she was very ill, and he went to her, lifted her up, and took her by the hand. The fever left. She acted like it never happened. She got up and began serving us. So everyone started showing up, wanting him to help them or heal them. It felt like the whole city had gathered at the door. And he did it too. Then the next morning we couldn't find him, so we went out searching, and when we found him, he was praying. And he decided to leave and go to other towns, and so we followed him. One morning he was preaching there getting arrested. James and John were there. Our master saw some people on their boats at the water's edge. He wanted me to use my boat to go to them. I said, "Master, it is yours." And we moved away from the shore. People began to gather, and our master taught them from the boat, talking of love and the kingdom of Elohim. Then he turned to me and said,
"Put out into deep water."
and let down the nets for a catch.
I told him, Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything. Because you say so, I will let down the nets. When I did, I caught such a large number of fish that the nets began to break. The others ran to their boats, and every man there helped to pull the catch in. It was more fish than I'd seen in my entire life, more than I would have caught in a good month. Our boats were weighed down with all the fish, so we rushed ashore. My heart felt like it was sinking in my chest. Because that's when I knew that this man who had asked me to follow him, this was him. I panicked. I fell on my knees. Go away from me, Lord, for I'm a sinful man. You should never have asked me to follow him. Not Simon, not a fisherman, not as a sinner. I wasn't up to the task.
Do not be afraid.
That's when I realized we weren't founding a community of disciples. We were founding the kingdom of Elohim. It happened when we were in the district of Caesarea Philippi. Our master was asking everyone, who do people say the Son of Man is? And we would say, some say John the Baptist, others Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets.
But who do you say I am?
You are the Christ, the living Son of Elohim. That's when he named me Peter. I promised to go to the ends of the earth for him, no matter the danger, no matter the fear. One day we went ahead on the boats. He needed space to pray, and he said he'd be coming later. It was late, and there was a bit of storm brewing on the currents and the wind. It was around the fourth watch when we looked out, and there he was. I'm telling you, as sure as I am real, he was walking on the sea. Walking. Right? We got scared right off, thinking it was a ghost. And he said,
Take courage. It's me.
Master, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water. And of course he told me to come to him. I got out of the boat. At first everything was okay. Then I started thinking about how crazy this was, how deep the water was, how rough it was. And I began falling into the waves. I screamed for him to help me. And I felt the pain.
You look a little faint. Why did you doubt?
I don't know why. Keep trying, I get scared. Now he speaks of betrayal in our midst. One of the trusted 12 will double cross him. It won't be me. Not Simon. Not Cephas. Not Peter. Not the rock of his church. Even if all fall away on account of you, I never will.
You will all fall away because of me this night. For it is written, I will strike down the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock shall be scattered.
Even though others may fall away, I never will. Never.
Truly I say to you that this very night, before a rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times.
Even if I have to die with you, I will not deny you.
Truly I say to you.
No. No. My master. My friend. You've given me hope. You've asked me to be your rock. I will never deny you. I promise. I promise.
Simon. Behold, Satan has demanded permission to sift you like wheat. I pray for you. That your faith may not fail. And you, when once you have turned, strengthen brothers.
Tonight I will stand for him. I will. I can't be the betrayer. I am the rock. It won't be me. It can't be. Tonight. Isn't. John, tell us with whom we speak.
Lord, who is it?
That is the one from whom I shall get the morsel.
betraying him tonight. They can keep saying, "Is it I? Is it I?" But it's not. No, it's not you. Or you. No, it's not you. It's me. But that's no surprise, is it? I've always been the outcast, right? Did you know that every one of the 12 comes from Galilee? Except me. No, they all had the same homes, the same families of farmers, fishermen, tax collectors. But my home was out in the village of Kerioth in Judea, in the worst parts of the mountains. They call me Judas of Kerioth, or Judas Iscariot, as if I didn't know I was the only Judean in the group. No, I am not like these men. I am different. But I suppose we do have one thing in common. We were all chosen by him, our Messiah. My Messiah. But that is where our similarities end. Take a look at this table. What do you see? I'll tell you what I see. I see a fisherman, farmers, a zealot, a tax collector. Oh. And a child. Child. Doubters and sinners, that's what I see. What did you expect to see here tonight? A group of heroes? No, these aren't heroes. These are just men. Going nowhere. Just waiting. Not anymore. Because I'm about to change all of that. Because I've been the one who has stayed calm and quiet for the most part. Watching, waiting. Meanwhile, we have John or James who lose their tempers at a moment's notice. And Peter, so impulsive, reckless. He's the one that gets the keys to the kingdom of heaven. And this man, for the master did say, "For you I shall give the keys to the kingdom of heaven. And whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. And whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven." Why not me? What was so wrong with me? 3 years! 3 years of my life wasted! Yes, I've seen his miracles. I've heard his parables. I broke bread with him. I've devoted my entire life to this man, waiting for him to bring the kingdom of heaven down to Jerusalem. Oh, I wanted that. I wanted that so much more than any of this. The others must have had some confidence in me. You know, they voted me treasurer. Even over Matthew with his ledgers and scales, yet still. And Yeshua,
He must have believed in me too. He only chose 12. He chose me. No, not just chose me. He spent the night in prayer before calling me. Oh, and the way they welcomed me. You would have never thought I was a Judean. But when I questioned, when I dared wonder when and where the kingdom would come, I was told I had to wait. That I had to be patient, that the kingdom would come in time. Early in his ministry, the master was teaching and he said,
The time is fulfilled, and the kingdom of Elohim is at hand.
But here's the thing. I don't see the kingdom. Do you? Do you see it? Oh, you must think me a man of so little faith, huh? A sinner. But is my soul so black and yours so white? Do any of you know why I'm going to do this to him? I mean, do any of you truly know why? You scholars and students, teachers, I know a lot of you think you know who I am. He was selfish and greedy. He really was in it for himself. Maybe I just gave in to temptation. I just wanted all that money and power. Maybe I was taken by Satan himself. Or maybe that's what you have to tell yourself to feel good. Because truly, truly, I say to you, that there is more in me and you than any of you would care to admit. Now, you'd have the same doubts if you were here. And you, this man promised us that he was establishing his kingdom here on earth. Instead, everyone hates us. We risk our lives simply by walking out in the open. Oh, before there were thousands lined up to see him. Even a few days ago, they were shouting Hosanna. Now we are in danger. Now we are in Jerusalem at the height of Passover, and I know there is going to be punishment. They are going to kill us, and he's not going to do anything to stop it. When did this go wrong? It was Capernaum. It was Capernaum. The master was teaching there, and he said,
I am the bread that came down out of heaven.
No one knew what to make of this. People began talking amongst themselves until finally someone said, is not this Yeshua, son of Joseph, whose father and mother we know? How does he now say he has come down from heaven? The master responded,
Do not grumble among yourselves. Truly, truly, I say to you, he who believes has eternal life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers ate the manna in the wilderness, and they died. This is the bread which comes down out of heaven, so that one may eat of it and not die. I am the living bread that came down out of heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he will live forever. And the bread also which I will give from the life of the world is my flesh.
His flesh?
I say to you, he who eats my flesh and drinks my blood abides in me, and I in him. As the living Father sent me, and I live because of the Father, so he who eats me, he also will live because of me. This is the bread that came down out of heaven, not as the fathers ate and died. He who eats this bread will live forever.
Well, do you follow that? I don't follow that. I mean, the master does have his odd ways, but this? And these men here, they pretended to never have a question or a doubt. Oh, I see you. I see all of you with your lies, your facades. We were all struggling with this mystery. Not just me, he knew it too because he said,
Does this cause you to stumble? But then, you see the Son of Man ascending to where he was before. It is the Spirit who gives life. The flesh profits nothing. The words I have spoken to you are spirit and are life. But there are some of you who do not believe.
I thought he caught my eye. I can't be sure. He never accused me outright. But I thought he caught my eye. The things he was saying. People began to doubt him, and then they turned away from him. And then he turned to us and asked,
You do not want to go away also, do you?
And Peter said,
Lord, where would we go? If we have words of eternal life, we have believed and have come to know that you are the Holy One of Elohim.
always willing to do whatever he wants. Never thinking, always rushing in. Is wrong. Me, I knew at that moment that I might have misplaced my faith in him. Where was all this going? It felt like he was just stringing us along. And he must have known my doubts because he said,
Did I myself not choose you? The 12? And yet, one of you is a devil.
Devil. A devil. Am I that? No. No. I am the only one who sees the situation clearly. This man, this Nazarene, promised us that he was bringing the kingdom of Elohim down. He promised us that he was going to free us from the Roman oppressors. You are supposed to be our deliverer. And if you're not, then what good are you? We were in Bethany. This woman, Mary, she brought this alabaster jar of perfumes, expensive perfumes, and began to pour it on Yeshua's head and anointed him. Then wiped her hair on his feet, wasting a valuable resource. I said aloud so everyone could hear, why this waste? This perfume can be sold for a high price, that money given to the poor. It was worth what you make in 300 days of work. That's almost a year. It was absurd. Don't you see that? Why didn't they see that? And of course, after that, they began saying I appropriated funds, that I was getting into the money box for myself, and that Yeshua's warnings about the love of money and greed were personally directed at me. Really? Really? I mean, you guys voted me treasurer, did you not? This woman's oils could have covered. But it was my responsibility. It was a waste of money. It was a display of indulgence. Oh, and Yeshua, who knows my every thought right in front of everyone's skulls.
Let her alone so that she may keep it for the day of my burial. For you will always have the poor with you. You will not always have me.
Burial? What does he mean? The things he says. The bread of life, or one of you is a devil. Eat my body, drink my blood. Burial. Don't you see what I'm trying to tell you? This had nothing to do with me. It was him. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. He wasn't being our Messiah. Maybe he just needs to push in the right direction. And maybe if he's forced to go before the chief priests with his faith in their hands, he'll have to prove he is the son of Elohim. Right? Oh, no. This is my decision. I don't have to prove myself to you or you or you or you or any of you. If the Messiah will not assert himself, then I will. You, if you truly are the son of Elohim, if you are the Holy One, why do you allow so much pain? Why do you allow the Romans to walk all over your chosen people? You are supposed to conquer this world. Israel needs you. Moses needs you. David needs you. I need you. I am so tired of my enemies always winning, while I am forced to suffer, wanting and longing for things to be better. I need you to do something. Why are we eating supper? There are men plotting out there to kill us all, and you're in here washing our feet like a slave. Well, if you want to be a slave, then I'll sell you like a slave. If you say you love me, then prove it. If you say that you are the truth, then prove it. If you say that you are the Messiah, then prove it. Prove it tonight. For heaven's sake, say something. If you know in your heart what I'm about to do to you, speak up. Fight me. Bring the power of Elohim down in this room. Come on. It's just you and me. There are no others. You have the power to stop this, so please. Deliver me from this darkness, please. Three years and nothing. I did everything you asked. I love you. Don't make me do this. Please. Please.
worth to him? And me, I stood on my roof thinking about this and that, hiding. Maybe if I had done something, could have changed things for him. That night, it feels so long ago, and my head is just in a fog, and I don't know what's going to become of me. But I hate the way that I feel. Guilt-ridden. He was in Gethsemane with his followers, except for the traitor, talking with him, and Judas came walking up, and they were all with him, the chief priest, the elders, the temple guards. They had clubs and swords, and there he was with just a group of sleepy friends. And with a kiss, it all began. One of his men, Simon, took a sword and cut off the ear of the servant of the high priest. He said, "Put away the sword." That he had to drink the cup that was prepared for him. Then he healed the servant. They took him before the high priest, and there were those who were seeking to testify against him. They could kill Yeshua. And again, one of his men, Simon, was in the courtyard, was questioned by some of the mob. They cornered him and demanded to know if he was one of Yeshua's men.
Don't know him. Don't know the man. For the last time, I don't know the man.
They led him to the Sanhedrin. They accused him of being a blasphemer. They brought in false witnesses to testify against him. They found two men willing to say that Yeshua claimed he could tear down the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. And then they beat him mercilessly.
They brought him before the governor. Pilate, having been told by his wife that Jesus was innocent and not to be involved. She had dreams with the gods, they said. Pilate is a real man. But on this day, he seemed reluctant. It was the custom at the festival for the governor to release a prisoner that had been chosen by the crowd. They brought forth a known criminal, Barabbas. Pilate gathered the mob together and asked them, "Shall I release Barabbas or Jesus, this Messiah?"
The mob wanted Barabbas to be released. And to Yeshua they cried out, "Crucify him! Crucify him!"
No one wanted an uproar, so Pilate did what they wanted. But he brought forth the water and washed his hands. He did not want to be responsible.
The Romans ordered him to be crucified, but first they led him to be flogged.
We stripped him bare, tied him to a post. Then the lictors came, brandishing whips with leather strands of different lengths, with iron balls that caused deep contusions, and shrapnel of sheep bones that cut into the flesh, and when peeled away from the skin, leave bare the bones, flesh blowing in the wind. The lictors have one job, and like all Romans, they do their job well. And then we had a new idea. King of the Jews. How about a crown? But here's the catch. We made the crown of thorns, the Euphorbia milli, stems with millions of constant thorns. They beat him mercilessly, all the while chanting, "Hail, King of the Jews!"
Finally, they led him out to be crucified, outside the city, to Golgotha. post and took spikes 7 inches long and nailed his hands, then put him on another post and nailed his feet. Crucifixion is death by suffocation. Hung like this, you can't breathe. You can push up with your feet, but exhaustion always wins. My people, the teachers of the law, they did not simply kill him. They were annihilating him.
They put a sign on him. It said, Yeshua the Nazarene, King of the Jews. It was written in Hebrew, Latin, Greek, so all could read. And then it got dark.
It was an unnatural darkness.
Dark and still. After about 6 hours of all this, Yeshua cried out with a loud voice, my Elohim, why have you forsaken me? These people, they started running around, thought he was calling Elijah. But he just gave up his spirit. He was gone. The Romans pierced his side to verify he was dead. It was already over. He was already dead.
They killed him. Oh, they wanted him dead. What? He didn't fight. Oh, man, no, he didn't go down. Elijah or the angels to save him. He just looked up at the heavens and said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. I doomed this man to torture and death, and he said, forgive them. I tried to give it back. I tried. They laughed at me and said, what need of this to us? You deal with it. Then they went after the others. Oh. My friend, have mercy on my soul.
It was always demanded he stop talking about the fact that he was going to die. I always tried to shut him up. I didn't want to believe that he would be. In the Garden of Gethsemane, when the mob came, I tried to protect him. I did. But at the sound of warning, I turned. I could still see his face. I didn't stand by him. Be the rock he asked of me. Judas may have betrayed him, but I abandoned him. He died in agony, and I hid. I'm the lesser of the disciples. Couldn't even stand by him on the water. Well, how on earth did I think I'd have the strength to stand by him in his last hours?
Joseph of Arimathea and I were believers. We weren't about to let the body rot or be devoured by birds. But we were afraid. We had to be careful. Joseph went to Pilate in secret to ask for the body before the Sabbath. We took him down from Golgotha and took the mixture of the myrrh and aloes and spices and the linen wrappings and prepared his body according to the custom of our people. His people. We laid him there and sealed the tomb.
The Jewish leaders requested that Pilate station guards outside the tomb so that there would be no mistake of his death.
spoke to us and said, "Do not be afraid."
We wanted our Lord, but the angel said to us, "He is not here, for he is risen, just as he said. Go and tell his disciples he has gone ahead to Galilee. There you will see him."
So we left, and he was there.
Do not be afraid. But go and take word to my brethren to leave for Galilee, and there they shall see me.
When the women came and told us the tomb was empty, I ran as fast as I could to see for myself. I went in and looked at each piece of linen. I wanted to take in every detail I did not want to fail them again. I went back to the boat and the rest followed me. We fished all night. I was trying to work through it all in my head, trying to get a grasp of it all. Of course, I caught nothing. That morning we saw a man on the beach.
The men said to us, "Throw down your nets." Of course, we cut a net full of fish. I said to Peter, "It's him. This is him."
I jumped in, swimming to him as fast as I could.
When we got to the shore, he had already built a fire. We cooked the fish and ate. Peter, he was quiet.
Then
Do you love me more than these?
he said agape. In Greek, there are many words for love. This meant unconditional, pure, required nothing in return. You know I love you. I use phileo because I'm not love pure.
Feed my sheep.
Then he asked again,
Peter, son of John, do you truly love me?
You still use the God. Lord, you know I love you. Phileo is like brotherly love. I didn't want to overstep my bounds, not after what I'd done.
Take care of my sheep.
Then he asked, "Here's a phileo. Cephas, do you love him?" He was asking if I was his friend, his brother. That's when it hit me. 3 times. He's giving me a new chance. Lord, you know all things. You know I love you.
Feed my lambs.
I saw him many times after this day. After 40 days, he left us. He thought he was restoring the kingdom of Israel, but he said no.
He said, "It is not for you to know the times that the Father has fixed by his own authority."
But you will receive power.
You shall be my witnesses, starting in Jerusalem,
And in all Judea and Samaria.
Even to the remotest part of the world.
and then he was lifted up.
The cloud received him, and 2 men in white appeared beside him.
They said, "Men of Galilee, why do you look to the sky?"
Yeshua, who has ascended before you into heaven, will come in just the same way as he left.
In my Father's house are many dwelling places. If it were not so, I would have told you. Where I go, prepare a place for you. If I go, I will come again, to receive you to myself. Where I am, there you may be also.
He returned and prayed as one, waiting for the Holy Ghost.
10 days was all it took. Then it began. None of us had any doubts.
In the Jewish court, even the great Sanhedrin, to be a credible witness and reliable, you had to actually see the event with your eyes or hear it with your ears. And you needed 2 witnesses.
We are his disciples, his chosen, who testify to these things and who wrote them down. I am his witness.
witness.
I am his witness.
I am